Hello, I'm Joe Ruggiero, and welcome to my podcast, Inspired, and the people who inspire me. Well, we're going to Paris for our next guest. She has a delightful accent, but she's also a very accomplished designer, interior designer, and her name is Caroline Roskowski. And we're going to speak to her a little bit about where it all started. Now, your grandparents inspired you, is that right?
So hello, Joe. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, my pleasure.
So you wanted to start with my grandparents?
Yes.
So I'm very fortunate to have such a grandparents. They were very creative, and my grandfather was an inventor in the car industry. He was a designer, and my grandparents were entrepreneurs. So I think I have a little touch from there.
And they were collectors, right?
Yeah. So they were collectors, as do my parents. They loved art, and my parents loved all this period from the 30s. So they had all this furniture from this era, and art is center in a house when we were a child. And also antique, they were obsessed to stop in each brocante. It's what we call it in French. Each brocante, when we were driving across France, all stop we're doing to search for new stuff to place in the house.
And you were a little girl at that time.
Yes, I was a little girl. I had one older brother and one younger. I kept in mind this epic drive to the south of France. We had the 2 horses in the back, a dog, some cats, and the nitties in the dresser. My parents were brought to the south, and we were also stopping everywhere, seeing museum and antiques, and we were like, "Dad, stop that!"
Right.
But that was part of.
But that inspired you, and then of course your parents, they too had a marvelous apartment. In Paris. Tell me.
Yeah,
about
this
it.
house. So it's they bought it when I was 6 months old.
Wow.
And it was an old office, so they turned it in a beautiful and amazing house. It's in the west of Paris, near the 16th arrondissement, and it has this really, really high steel glass. And with this 2-story, it's a 3-story house, and they actually did some movie sets in this house. I think 3 movies have been.
Well, we're going to share pictures of that on my Instagram, so our listeners will be able to see it. But I think the thing that is very interesting is that they adaptive reuse. It was, an office, and they turned it into a home.
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure of visiting the French designer André Poutman, and she did a similar situation. Yes, she was a charming woman, and we happened to do a video segment at her apartment. Very, very stylish, wonderful avant-garde lady, but she designed the Concorde and many other projects.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yes. So now let's talk a little bit about your first house, because it's a very romantic story.
So our house in the west of France. So it's where it's also part of my childhood, because my grandparents have this house 10 minutes away from our house. This house we bought 10 years ago now, and it was friends of our family. And the first moment or kiss, I can say, with my husband. Now my husband. We were 18 years old at that time. It was in this living room where we had this dance for the end of the year. And when it was on sale, we were like, "Oh my God, this is first. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's near our family, and we wanted to have a place for us." So. Yeah, and it's a pleasure to be there. It's
and
what
you
I
were
miss.
lucky to be able to buy it.
Yeah, so we waited. We waited that the price came down because we were in our 30s, so we were not so fortunate. And 3 years after, we were able to buy it. So it's a paradise, and it
Yes.
has a look of Italy. I'm sure you would love it.
Right.
You should come. Yeah.
Well, we're going to show pictures of that as well, but it has tile roof and limestone and
Yeah, it's
very charming.
And there's a lot of custom pieces made out of rock and stones. With the stone of the local area. It's tuff. It's called tuff. It's a really soft limestone. You can see that so we are in the middle of the Loire Valley. So all these castles and this white stone is easy to model, and we have that chimney which has been designed for the house, and this passe-plat, it's the little window between a kitchen to a dining room.
Right.
And it's really moving because it has been designed by a friend of our family.
Right. Isn't
So
that
it's
interesting? It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Yes. Isn't that wonderful? Now, you came to California and you continued your business. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Actually, I started my business in LA because when we were in France, my first career was in marketing and communication. So I worked 15 years old in big agencies, and I had the chance to work for Air France, Nestlé, Sephora, all these big loyalty programs. I loved it. I was on the account side. And it was amazing to work with this creative side and the working team. And when so my husband found a job here, we decided to take the chance and give the experience to our family. So we brought the 4 kids.
You have 4 children?
Yes. We have 4 children. The last one was 1 year old. And the other one was, I think, 13 years old. They didn't speak a word of French, of English,
How did
sorry.
they get along?
It was really hard for them. Really, the first day at school, they started in the public school. They didn't speak a word, and when the teacher said, "I don't speak French," I was like, "Okay, but use Google."
Wow!
So they had it was hard, but after 2 months they were amazing, and me after 6 months of doing nothing because I settled all the family, I decided to devote my time to my passion and started this business in design. Right. So in France, we had this house we were renovating. We had also our house in Paris that we redesigned. And I've been always surrounded by design. My mom used to work for Designers Guild, so I think I was. It was a passion, but when you still have a job, you don't want to quit it. It's so risky. But here, it was a blank page, so I just decided, and I felt that there was an attraction for French taste and French chic.
Right.
So I decided to start.
And you started the firm, Lenny.
The French chic.
Which means the nest.
The nest, yeah.
Right.
It was a place where you feel cozy, you feel at home. And at the same time, I enrolled at UCL Extension in the program Architecture and Interior Design. And Eleonore Schroeder was my first teacher.
Oh, yes. Well, she's been a guest on this program.
Yes, I heard, yeah.
Yes.
And for me, it was very important to have both of it, so like concrete project, and in the parallel learn and do all the class. And I got the certificate last June.
Wow, that's wonderful. And I would like to go back a little bit to your mother, who worked for Designers Guild, and Trisha Guild,
yes,
who I knew very well, and her husband Robin, and that is available in showrooms to the trade. The fabrics are still available, right?
Yes, so my mom started to work in the Paris office because the head was a friend, and I was so inspired. I think Tricia Guild was an innovator in this.
Yes.
She started to make. I think it was thanks to her that wallpaper became more attractive, and people started to use it again.
Right.
She used the flower pattern. So yeah, I love this, and I still love it. We can find it at the Pacific Design Center.
That's right. And I'm sure in New York as well. She's a very attractive lady.
She's amazing. Yes.
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 Now let's talk a little bit about the work that you're doing with the French consulate.
Yes. So I'm very
in Los Angeles.
Pleased. Yes, to have. Just finished a project it's a program called Villa Albertine. It's the same as we call the Villa Medicis in Italy. So it's a place where and a program where artists, movie maker, writers, and so on are applying for research they would like to do in the US. And Villa Albertine has settled a place to welcome artists who are coming for 1 month, 2 months.
Oh, so they would stay there?
They would stay
live
there.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's not an office, it's a place there where they live. And we just finished and wrapped up this project at the beginning of the week. And I'm so pleased because it has been such a great journey. I was able to implement nice French brands, and it's very colorful. There is a touch of California, yes, it was a pleasure also to work with these clients who trusted me a lot. So it was great.
Well, you really took quite a chance moving to California with 4 children, new world, new experiences. How was that transition?
It was not easy because we were very happy in France and in Paris. We are very close to our family and to our friends, so it was a challenge to leave everything. I quit my job, but the first thing I think I heard from here and from LA and from America is really that you take the chance, and it's not a problem if you miss or if you have a failure or if it's not a success, as soon as you've tried. And I think it's not the same in maybe Paris, but I felt like, yes, I should try, and it's not
Absolutely.
a problem if I miss.
But that is because you are you, and you're very resourceful. I can remember, because we'll be here 36 years, but my wife and I were born in New York. We are basically New Yorkers. So we had that experience, and we took our whole family. And we didn't have as many children as you did. We had 3, not 4. But my wife was game. She was ready to do it. And we don't think we'll ever go back east. I think we really have enjoyed the experience. And as a designer, you have so many resources here.
Yeah, I feel that the inspiration you get from landscapes, nature, and I've been always like, yes, I've been raised in Paris, but I would love going in the countryside and go collect the mushrooms with my dad. And so I really love nature. And here, all the trips we made to Death Valley, to Montana,
Wow.
to this, it's such inspiring, and I understood why there was so much movie here also.
Right.
The light is amazing, and I think I'm so happy now to I've added, this California cool to my Parisian flair, and it's so inspiring.
Now you go back for summer, full summer.
I try to go back a lot. First, I feel it, and it's really important for me to see my family, my friends, and also to go to see Paris. It's so inspiring. The city is crazy, beautiful. I go to Maison Objet and the Paris Design Week. It's really important, this balance. So I go back summer and Christmas. And last year I had the chance to go to Milano Design Week in April, and I felt in love with the city.
Well, many of the American manufacturers go to Milan for their furniture show. And I think that it's interesting the way this multicultural advice is coming through to design. And I find it very, very interesting. So do you have projects in France now? Or you're concentrating here?
I have so our own house, which is a huge project every day, and we have many stuff to renovate and remodel. We want to create more bedrooms for our grandkids sooner,
right.
No. and not yet. No, it's mostly here.
So did you take a long time to find that home?
The home in
California.
In California, no, it was. I think we fell in love with our house. It was the first or the second we visited.
Wow!
And it has this amazing view on mountains, with this big pool and with really high ceiling. I think it reminds me my childhood house.
Yes.
And we didn't move since then, so it was nearly 9 years.
Wow.
We are very loyal.
Now, the children, have they adapted? Do they go back to France in the summer?
Yes, so they go back. They love France. I think they're really, they have the two cultures.
Yes.
I think they're more French than American, that's for sure. And one has already came back to France. She's studying there in the west of France, where your son-in-law used to come, and they're very French. But I'm so happy that this experience opened their mind and their eyes, and they have the English, but they still love charcuterie and go to museums in Paris.
Well, the thing that I find very interesting is many of the children that live in the States are not attuned to the various foods. And they're, chicken McNuggets and hamburgers and whatever, hot dogs. But now the French children learn many different kinds of food.
Oh yes, since they're young, they're babies, they eat everything. And in our house, it was very important. And my kids are crazy for food now. They cook. They love tasting everything.
Do you cook?
Yes, I love cooking, and I'm a fan of your daughter, Bess. Yeah.
Well, she's living in France now, as you know.
Yes.
And we miss her terribly. But we love the fact that we speak to her almost daily, and we love to hear the development of the cultures. Her daughter, the youngest daughter, is now going to the French school, but she's learning new things, and she's known as the American girl. So she's like a rock star at that school, because there aren't any Americans that go to that school. And then, of course, the other granddaughter is in Italy. And that makes me very happy, because that's my culture. I'm Italian, and as a matter of fact, I had an uncle who studied in Florence, which is the art capital of Italy. So she's learning the Italian culture, which makes me very happy.
She's so lucky. I think it's so important to cultivate your roots and where you come from.
Yeah.
And it's just an addition in your life. And I think the importance to be open-minded and meet people, being comfortable in your relationship. I think it's something that I love doing it in my job, because it was part of my first career. I was on the account side. Marketing, and I was managing the relationship with the clients.
Right.
And still today, I love being with my clients. Most of the time, they become friends.
Sure.
First, you're in their intimacy, but listen to them, understand what they're looking for, and create them a better place, a better life.
Right.
I think
exactly.
it's fulfill me so much.
Yes. Well, the thing that's very interesting is that, and I don't mean to put the French down because I have always been a Francophile and I love France. And I have since the 60s when I took my first trip to France many times now. And my daughter's wedding was in France and we had so much fun planning that. But you're very outgoing. Is that typical of the French?
What do you mean?
You are a very good people person, public relations, marketing, outgoing. The French seem to be more within themselves.
Well, you have to discover them. No, it's I would not globalize.
Generalize,
yeah,
yes.
generalize because you have. I would say some Americans were not very open, but I think I have that from my parents and my family, and especially my dad was like that. And I think it's really important, and I'm always very curious of.
Curiosity. That's what it is.
Yes, of what the other is doing, mixing the age. It was very important in my family to gather all the age together.
That seems more Italian.
With respect, keeping the respect, but. Yes, and it's what I love. I love doing. It's meeting people, and I would say it's always. I found always when you go out from your place or home, you always have a good surprise.
Right, exactly.
A good
experience.
Meeting. Yeah, experience. Yeah.
Well, the thing that's very interesting. My wife is a Connecticut. She was born in New York, but she lived most of her life in Connecticut. And we always felt that New England people were very, very to themselves. They were not outgoing. And me being from an Italian family, of course, we were always very, outgoing. And I grew up in a very interesting part of New Jersey, Leonia, which was made up of professors and teachers and that kind of families. But the one thing that I realized is that in France, you need to get to know the people, very similar to California. When we were here and moved from Connecticut, which is where we raised our family, we felt people were very, very private, and they lived so close together. See, we were used to much more land, and so I think that's why people wanted their privacy. But in this day and age, it's so important to know your neighbors and break that barrier because important. I mean, just for security reasons.
Yes, and it makes you happy, to have a smile.
But they're not everyone that feels that way.
I always tell my kids, if you smile at someone, even every day, maybe in 10 days or 1 year, he will smile back.
Well, something.
And that's a win.
There was a very, very famous silent screen star, and her name was Mary Pickford. And she had a huge audience back in the early days of film. And her mother said to her, "You need to smile to people because it doesn't cost you anything and it makes people feel good." And I think that's great advice, very good advice, because very few people do. Everybody, especially now, they have a pickle puss on.
Dark face, yeah.
They don't want to, be nice. And I've noticed that mostly when I go shopping. In the market, everybody is so there to do what they have to do. And I like talking to the checkers or the baggers or whatever. I think it's so interesting.
It's important, yeah.
And that is very different from France. Your marketing. Didn't you used to go to the market on a daily basis?
Oh, yes, yeah, of course. Even brocante, or as soon as you go in the market on the Sundays, or you can find really good food, really nice. You can find vintage and furniture or plates or there's.
But tell me, when you go for food, do you still purchase food every day, or do you do a weekly
If
list?
there is a market around you, you will go every day. But yes, for family reasons, work and so on, you will go during the weekend. It's our recess activity, I would
Right.
say. Yeah.
Well, you're doing very well with your English.
Oh, thank you. Pardon my French.
And is there any advice to designers working with clients that you would like to share with our listeners?
Yes, I think the patience is the first. Patience, curiosity, because patience, you will sell maybe everything to your client and ideas, and maybe at the beginning we say no, 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 and then if you demonstrate and take the time, it's a good advice. I think. Thinking about the objective to make a client, and it could be a family, because I work for residential projects and also commercial. Mm-hmm. I did some offices, and one of my first project was in Connecticut.
Oh.
Near New York, and it was this big office, 70 people, 70 stations, and it was very oldie, 60s, 70s style. And then we remodeled, we put the clean and modern style in there, and all the team felt even more efficient and better after.
That's good.
And I think it's what we do also, and it's what makes me so happy doing my job, is that we're kind of health coach or life coach, because
nurturing.
The people will feel better in their life if they have a nice bath, if they have comfy and with nice lights, they will feel much better. They
Absolutely.
will invite their friends. So yes, patience. Going back to a question, I would say patience, curiosity. Yes, and travel, is it an advice also? Travel,
right.
Being open-minded, and go outside and feel your environment.
Now, how many staff at Lenid do you have?
So it's mainly me, and I work with the team for all the renovation. It's always the same team. I had an intern last year, but yeah, it's mainly me.
See, interns, when I launched my business, I depended on interns. This is before Beth worked for me. And I used UCLA Extension and I used FITM too. But those interns were so smart and really helped me launch my business. And I think that that's very good advice when you're starting your business, to draw from the assistance that you can.
Yes, because I think, and nowadays doing this job is also complex, because you have to have your inspiration, you have to be creative, you have to manage your clients, but also there is the marketing, the Instagram part, and you could be overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. And I felt sometimes, especially the social networks,
yes.
or the marketing, even if it was my job, market yourself is really hard. Talking about you, and it's not something that for me is easy.
You're doing very well.
I don't know. So I felt it was great, and it's what also I miss, is not working as a team. It's what I loved when I was working in agencies, is being part of a crew, a team, and we were on a project for a client. So maybe it's the next step.
Well, I think you're doing very well in the United States. Everybody loves you that meets you. And I thank you so much for spending this time with us. And I wish you, is it correct to say bonne chance?
Bonne chance, yes. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
Thank you.